Hello everyone. Welcome back to our journey through the ancient, frozen world of the Ice Age. In the previous episode, we explored the first 10 secrets of this mysterious era, how the Ice Age began, how glaciers shaped the continents, and how life adapted to a world covered in ice. And today, we continue with facts 11 to 20, a deeper dive into the storms, the air, the light, the plants, the predators, and the silent battles of survival that defined this frozen age. Before we begin, take a moment, breathe slowly. Imagine yourself standing on a vast white tundra. The wind is cold and sharp. Snow swirls around you like drifting dust. The sky above is pale blue, almost silver. And somewhere in the distance, the echo of ancient footsteps fades into the frost. In this chapter, we will discover the terrifying blizzards that shaped life and death, the strange, thin, icy air of the ancient Earth, the dim blue light that cast the Ice Age into an eternal twilight, nights that lasted for months and summers without darkness. How glaciers captured the memory of Earth itself. How plants survived in a world nearly frozen to death. How fur, fat, and evolution became nature's armorer. How animals found food beneath meters of snow. And how predators hunted in storms, shadows, and endless winter. This is a story of cold winds and quiet strength. A story of giants, hunters, wanderers, and survivors. A story of life, struggling and thriving in a world colder and harsher than we could ever imagine. So sit back, relax your mind, and let us return once more to the frozen Earth of the ancient past. Welcome to Ice Age Facts, Episode 2, Secrets 11 to 20. Let the journey begin. Imagine you are standing on the frozen steppe more than 20,000 years ago. The ground trembles softly beneath your feet, not because of the wind, not because of cracking ice, but because of something else, something so massive you feel it before you see it. A giant shadow slowly appears through the white mist of an Ice Age morning. It is a mammoth, but fact number 21 is not about a single species. It is about an entire world of giants, icy titans that modern imagination can barely comprehend. As the climate grew colder, trees shrank lower, grasslands stretched to the horizon, food sources spread across hundreds of kilometers. There were fewer places to hide. Animals needed large bodies to retain heat. The result? Evolution chose gigantic size. The Ice Age was a time when Earth produced creatures larger than anything alive today. Woolly mammoth, 3.23.7 meters tall, weighing up to 6 tons. A coat nearly 1 meter thick. Tusks curved like crescent moons. A high hump of fat on the shoulders. But the most astonishing truth is this. When mammoths moved, the entire ground shook. Not because of their weight, but because they traveled in herds of hundreds, a living force stretching for kilometers. Steppe bison, over 2 meters tall at the shoulder, weighing 2,000 kilograms, a head as large as a boulder, a long chest mane like a heavy cloak. Modern bison look at them like tiny descendants. Their size allowed them to plow through snow, fight off ancient wolves, retain heat during blizzards. Woolly rhinoceros, over 4 meters long, weighing 3 tons, front horn nearly 1 meter long, fur thick like a carpet, powerful neck muscles for digging snow to reach grass. When it moved through a snowstorm, it looked like a living boulder, pushing forward relentlessly, unstoppable. Megaglaciers, nearly 2.2 meters tall, antlers stretching 3.54 meters wide, weighing over 700 kilograms. When it walked across the icy grasslands, its giant antlers brushed against falling snow like an ancient crown slicing through the fog. Large size helped them retain heat, fight predators, dig through deep snow, store fat, travel long distances without exhaustion. For the Ice Age, being big wasn't just an advantage, it was a survival lesson. But as the climate warmed, large animals needed more food. They overheated easily in warmer weather. Grass changed. New plants lacked nutrients. Humans appeared and increased hunting pressure. Migration routes became harder to follow. The size that once saved them from freezing became the very thing that kept them from adapting to a new world. Imagine yourself standing on the icy plain, mammoths towering in the golden haze, bison thundering like a flowing river, woolly rhinos plowing through snow, giant deer raising their massive antlers, all silent, powerful, magnificent. This was not the world of small creatures. This was the age of titans. The giants did not simply live. They defined the entire ecosystem. Stand still for a moment and imagine that in front of you stands a full-grown mammoth. Its curved tusks stretch long like two crescent blades. Its thick fur rolls with the wind like heavy drifting clouds. Its humped shoulders rise like a small hill on its body. And the legs? Massive, solid, like four ancient stone pillars supporting an immense weight. But what made the mammoth the marvel of the Ice Age wasn't just its size. It was its absolute strength, a power few creatures of its era could match. The structure of the mammoth's shoulders and neck, highly developed, containing layers of muscle many times thicker than those of modern elephants. The shoulder hump stored fat and muscle to increase force. Thanks to this, mammoths could knock down trees, break ice, dig through deep snow, lift tons of weight using their head and tusks. To them, a large tree trunk was merely a light obstacle. In the deep winter, snow thickens, grass freezes, the ground hardens like stone. But mammoths did not stop. They used their tusks to sweep snow aside, their heads to press downward, their feet to stomp and crush ice. Together, these turned frozen ground into a meal. No herbivore dug through snow as efficiently as the mammoth. African elephants are already incredibly strong, but mammoths were adapted to ice, wind, slippery terrain, rocky hillsides, thick layers of snow. So their muscle bone system was built for overwhelming, durable impact. One strike from a mammoth against a bison or a woolly rhino could send it rolling sideways like a log. When mammoths moved in herds, 20, 40 individuals, hundreds of feet stomping together, force rippling across the ground. The combined weight of the herd could open pathways through deep snow, create trails, break thin ice, allow other species to follow behind. A single mammoth herd could reshape the landscape in a matter of weeks. This is something most people never imagine. On the frozen plains, mammoths could run at astonishing speed, their footsteps thundering for kilometers, snow exploding with every step, the earth trembling with their rhythm. When they ran, they were like a living storm, a terrifying fusion of speed and mass. Their feet as wide as a table, with thick pads, nails hard as stone, able to spread out their weight, prevent slipping on ice, walking on snow without sinking deeply. Thanks to this, they moved across icy ground like natural ice climbing masters. Mammoth DNA research shows muscle growth genes, MYH16, were highly active. Cold resistance genes, TRPV3, evolved to increase endurance. Fat metabolism. Genes were extremely efficient. Respiratory genes were optimized for freezing air. A mammoth's body wasn't just big, it was built for power. Ancient wolves, American lions, and even Smilodon never attacked a healthy adult mammoth. They only hunted calves, or targeted individuals that were wounded or separated from the herd. One kick from a mammoth could kill an ancient wolf instantly. One sweep of its tusks could shatter a Smilodon's bones. Mammoths weren't just big, they were dangerous. On the Ice Age steppe, snow split apart, winds shifted, small animals moved aside. Predators followed from a distance, waiting for a chance. Mammoth footprints carved deep channels like dry streams. They didn't just survive, they shaped the entire ecosystem. To see a mammoth was to see the wind, the ice, the snow, the passage of time, and the resilience of life itself. The strength of the mammoth didn't come only from muscle. It came from the very era that created them. The mammoth is the symbol of nature, when nature is at its harshest and at its most beautiful. The frozen steppe, where the wind blows so fiercely it feels like it could tear the air apart. Snow cuts across your face like white needles. The sun hangs low, its weak light casting a silver-blue glow over the entire world. In that landscape, a sound rises, a deep, steady, heavy rumble like a drum echoing from the heart of the earth. It is a herd of ancient bison, the unbreakable warriors of the Ice Age. Not as loud as mammoths, not as dangerous as Smilodon, not as massive as the woolly rhinoceros, but ancient bison were the greatest survivors. Steppe bison, Bison priscus, nearly 2.2 meters tall at the shoulders, weighing 2,000 kilograms, horns up to 1 meter long on each side, a head as large as a black boulder, shoulders rising into a mountain of muscle. Modern bison look like small descendants beside them. These were truly gigantic beasts, but incredibly agile in a world ruled by ice. Ice Age winds, not gentle, not soft, but sharp, cold, and blade-like. Yet, ancient bison had shaggy fur, 30-40 centimeters thick, a massive layer of fat beneath, powerful neck muscles to withstand the wind, the ability to live in 40 degrees Celsius storms. Wind couldn't break them, snow couldn't stop them. They were born to face blizzards. Each horn, thick, curved, incredibly strong, used to dig through snow, protect the herd, gore predators, break hard ice to reach grass. One strike from an ancient bison could kill a wolf instantly, fracture a Smilodon's bones, push back a North American lion. These weren't ordinary horns. They were Ice Age weapons. Not mammoths, not horses, not rhinos. Bison were the most effective, natural snowplows. They lowered their heads and slammed forward, swept snow aside with their horns, dug long trenches, exposed grass, moss, and shrubs beneath. Thanks to this, the whole herd could feed, and many other species could follow behind horses, reindeer. Bison were the pathfinders of winter. When attacked, bison formed a circle, adults on the outside, calves in the center, horns outward, heads thrust toward predators. This defense was so effective that ancient wolves avoided close combat. Smilodon only ambushed stragglers. North American lions had to be extremely cautious. Bison were living fortresses. Bison could travel 20, 30 kilometers a day, wade through deep snow, endure freezing winds, survive even when food was scarce, store fat in summer, maintain energy for weeks during long storms. They survived through willpower and endurance. Bison had large hooves, wide footpads, massive thigh muscles, excellent weight distribution, so they ran on snow like rolling stones, light yet powerful, agile yet massive. Ancient bison ran faster than you think, 50-60 kilometers per hour, even on wet, soft snow. They opened pathways through snow, created food access for other species, were a lifeline for predators, shaped the ground, spread seeds as they moved, determined the health of the entire frozen steppe. Without bison, the ecosystem collapsed. They were the balance between life and death. In Siberia, Alaska, and Canada, many long trails stretching kilometers are actually pathways carved by ancient bison thousands of years ago. This is animal-made geography, not human, not climate, but the strength and perseverance of the toughest warriors of the Ice Age. Through blizzards, they kept moving. In darkness, they still followed the herd. When hunted, they fought to their last breath. Ancient bison were not the fastest, not the largest, not the most aggressive, but they were the most enduring. They survived not by brute force, but by will, a will forged in the harshest era Earth has ever known. On the frozen steppe, under the pale blue glow of an Ice Age afternoon, the wind blows hard, carrying fine snow like powdered stone. You hear a sound like a massive boulder being dragged, but steady, rhythmic. Then it appears. A massive creature with thick fur, a powerful frame, and above all, a long front horn curved like a great spear, harder than any horn found in modern animals. This is the woolly rhinoceros, Colodonta antiquitatis, the armored warrior of the Ice Age. Its size, nearly 4 meters long, over 2 meters tall, weighing 2.53 tons, with an extremely muscular build. But what makes it truly remarkable is, its massive size did not slow it down. On snow, it could run faster than expected, 40-50 kilometers per hour, change direction quickly, climb slopes with ease, move across uneven ice effortlessly, a tank that could dance on ice. The wool of the woolly rhinoceros included a long, coarse, dark outer layer, a softer, curly middle layer, and a dense undercoat that sealed in warmth. Compared to mammoths, its hair was not as long, but much thicker, forming a perfect insulating armor. Even 40 degrees Celsius winds could not reach its skin. The front horn was 100 centimeters long, sharp and curved, made of hardened keratin, marked with distinctive horizontal wear patterns. This horn was used to clear snow, break ice, knock down shrubs, fight off ancient wolves, face Smilodon, and even confront North American lions. One sideways sweep could shatter a predator's bones. They would lower their heads, use the front horn to plow through snow, throw it to both sides, and uncover grass and lichen beneath. This allowed the whole rhino herd to feed, other species to scavenge behind them, and bare soil to open up for low plants to grow. They didn't just feed themselves, they influenced the entire flow of the ecosystem. Ice Age predators often avoided them because Their skin was armor-thick. Their fur offered extra protection. Their long horn was deadly. Their bodies were immensely strong. Their temperament was aggressive. Smilodon would only attack calves, weakened adults, or individuals separated from the herd. Almost no predator wanted a direct confrontation. Their short legs helped them lower their center of gravity, maintain grip on ice, avoid slipping, generate powerful thrust even in deep snow, support 3 tons of weight without sinking. They couldn't run far like mammoths, but in short bursts they were terrifying. They preferred areas without deep snow, regions where strong winds blew away the top layer, places with low-growing plants, open landscapes without dense forests. This explains why the woolly rhinoceros went extinct when the climate warmed. Grasslands disappeared, forests returned. The environment became too wet and warm for their massive bodies. They did not die because they were weak. They died because the earth changed too quickly. A horn to dig snow, fur to trap warmth, neck muscles to push against the wind, short legs to prevent slipping, thick fat to store energy, huge shoulders to break ice. Nothing on their bodies was unnecessary. Every detail was the result of millions of years of icy evolution. When they passed by, snow cracked, grass appeared, winds carried plant dust away. Their footprints formed basins that held water in summer. The soil was churned, giving new plants a place to grow. They were ecosystem engineers, a living machine, powerful and deeply influential to the world around them. They were not the fastest, not the biggest, not the most aggressive, but they were the most perfectly designed for the frozen world. They were nature's tanks, a testament to how strong and how beautiful life can become in the harshest environments ever known. A pale blue morning on the Ice Age plains. The frost melts slowly. The sky still holds the breath of a cold night. Tiny ice crystals float in the air like silver dust. Then you see a figure approaching from the horizon. Not a mammoth, not a bison, not a woolly rhinoceros. It is something else, graceful, noble, beautiful, in a completely different way. A giant elk. A full-grown megaloceros. With antlers spanning 3.5 or 4 meters across, it stands there like a living symbol of perfect balance, strength, beauty, and evolution intertwined. Each antler is almost 2 meters long, with a full spread of 3.54 meters, weighing 20-40 kilograms, built with intricate bone structure, regrown every year. Fueled by enormous amounts of calcium. They are not just big, they are so enormous they seem to defy gravity itself. When a megaloceros lowers its head, the antlers nearly touch the ground. When it turns, the antlers slice the air like a pair of blades. They are the largest and most magnificent antlers in the history of animals. This puzzled scientists for decades, but then we understood. Antlers are not only weapons, antlers are evolution's declaration. Antlers are signals of health, strength, and superior genes. Bigger antlers, stronger, male, better genes, higher chance of reproduction. This is sexual selection pushed to its absolute extreme during the Ice Age. The antlers are a beacon of vitality. The most surprising thing, they were not slow. Thanks to long legs, powerful thigh muscles, excellent balance, a strong neck, a lightweight jaw, a lean but robust body. Megaloceros could run 50-60 kilometers per hour on packed snow, jump high and far, change direction quickly despite the huge antlers, a dancer of the frozen plains. Wearing the crown of a king, they did not live deep in forests, nor in wide, empty grasslands. They lived in open woodlands, grasslands mixed with scattered trees, places where sunlight slipped through branches, where snow was light but winds were strong, where they had enough space to turn their massive antlers. Their habitat was like a stage designed especially for their beauty. Although they did not seek fights when necessary, a megaloceros could swing its antlers like a massive axe. Smilodon avoided facing them head-on. Dire wolves kept their distance from healthy adults. American lions often targeted only weak individuals. A single sideways sweep could break teeth, dislocate a smilodon's jaw, knock wolves several meters away, and open a path to escape. The antlers weren't just gorgeous, they were deadly when needed. To grow those enormous antlers, they needed minerals, fiber, fats, soft grasses, mosses, and young leaves. They sought willow leaves, fresh shoots, tundra, grasses, summer berries, moss and lichen in winter. They were far more delicate feeders than their majestic appearance suggests. Their antlers reflected the pale blue light, caught falling snow, cast long shadows across frozen ground, creating an almost surreal scene. If you ever saw a megaloceros in real life, you would understand why ancient humans painted them on cave walls. It wasn't just an animal, it was a symbol of natural mythology. In many caves, megaloceros is drawn alongside the sun, or beside animal deities, or carved so large it covers half the cave wall. This proves megaloceros embodied strength, balance, and wild beauty. As the climate warmed, dense forests spread, open habitats disappeared. Megaloceros struggled to move in thick woods. Food became scarce. The massive antlers became a burden. The antlers that once served as an evolutionary crown, in the end became something they could no longer adapt around. If mammoths were strength, bisons were endurance, and woolly rhinoceroses were resilience, then megaloceros was the beauty of the Ice Age, fragile yet powerful, a masterpiece of nature, born at the perfect moment and gone when the world changed too fast. Imagine you are standing in the middle of the Ice Age plains. Around you are towering silhouettes, mammoths as tall as small hills, woolly rhinoceroses weighing 3 tons, giant bison with shoulders reaching a man's chest, giant elk with antlers as wide as a doorway, American lions 25% larger than lions today, short-faced bears nearly 3 meters tall when standing upright. A world ruled by colossal bodies. But the question is, why? Why did such a freezing world produce animals so huge? The answer is not a single reason. It is a tapestry of evolutionary laws intersecting silent, subtle, but incredibly powerful. This is a famous evolutionary rule. Cold climates, animals tend to be larger. Why? A larger body, lower surface area to volume ratio, loses heat more slowly, retains warmth better, is harder for cold winds to penetrate. stores more fat in environments of 30 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Large size is natural armor. During the Ice Age, winds of 60-90 kilometers per hour, snow blowing sideways, cold air cutting through fur and skin. Small animals easily blown over, lose heat fast. Large animals stand firm, aren't pushed by the wind. Bodies like mammoths or ancient bison were opponents of the wind. To survive, animals needed to store fat for winter. Thick fat layers prevented starvation. Large fat reserves kept them warm for 4-5 months. Small bodies cannot store much fat. Large size a natural energy reservoir. Here's the surprising thing about the Ice Age. Despite the cold, it was extremely rich in food. The mammoth steppe was an ecosystem, stretching from France to Siberia and into North America, rich in grasses, shrubs, and lichens, more nutritious than modern grasslands. In other words, the Ice Age environment could support giant animals. In a world with Smilodon, weighing 300 to 400 kilograms, massive American lions, short-faced bears running as fast as horses, ferocious ancient wolves, large size, protected offspring, intimidated predators, reduced the chance of being attacked, increased survival when injured. Larger individuals lived longer, passed on better genes. Ice and snow formed barriers. Snow 1-2 meters deep, ice hard as stone, rough, uneven terrain. Large animals generated enough force to bulldoze snow, break ice, create paths for the herd, move more steadily. Where mammoths walked, the snow thinned and trails opened. Over hundreds of generations, large individuals survived. Large individuals reproduced. Large individuals passed on their genes. The next generations grew even larger. The Ice Age lasted hundreds of thousands of years, long enough for evolution to push size to the maximum. Mammoths and woolly rhinos lived 40-60 years, with long parental care, many reproductive seasons, few threats from predators. Long lifespan is an evolutionary advantage. The Ice Age wasn't just cold, it was unpredictable. Massive storms, winters that stretched on, summers that were extremely short, climate shifts within a few years. Large bodies more stable against sudden changes. They were like great stones that could not easily be moved. Gigantism was not luck, not an accident, not a strange mutation. It was a lesson written by climate, a signature carved by wind, the result of thousands of generations, the perfect balance of energy, environment, and survival. These giants could not be smaller, because if they were, they would not have survived. In the darkness of a frozen field at dusk, cold wind slices across your face. Snow swirls in a white haze. The sky is washed in silver purple. And then far away, you see a massive shape moving. Not a mammoth, not a bison, not an American lion. Its body is as big as a boulder, yet its movements are fast, tight, and terrifyingly powerful. It is Arctodus simus, the giant short-faced bear, the fastest running predator of the Ice Age. A creature both ancient and dangerous, carrying the wild beauty of a frozen world. Arctodus simus, over 3 meters tall when standing upright, weighing 800 to 1,000 kilograms, with a chest broad like a warrior's. Long, incredibly strong forelimbs. Hind legs unusually long compared to modern bears. Its body resembles a pillar of stone standing upright, or a giant warrior wrapped in thick fur armor. Just seeing it is enough to feel its dominance. The strangest thing about this bear, it has legs almost too long for a bear. Because of that, it can run 60-70 kilometers per hour, maintain speed longer than most predators its size. It doesn't just run, it flies across the ground. In a world of deep snow, this made it a rare high-speed predator. Most Ice Age predators, Smilodon, ambush, American lions, pack hunters, dire wolves, endurance chasing. But the short-faced bear was different. It would run down prey until the prey collapsed. Need no stealth, need no strategy, only speed, plus strength, plus enormous energy. Run straight, press close, take down. It was like a living storm crashing down on its prey. Ironically, despite its power, it rarely hunted the way Smilodon did. It used this strategy, listening for wolves hunting, smelling blood carried on the wind, charging toward the scene too fast for anyone to react, chasing away smaller predators, wolves, lions, even Smilodon, claiming the carcass. No one could compete with it. Not wolves, not lions, not Smilodon. It was simply the ruler of the feast, thanks to its unusually long legs, powerful thighs, high center of mass, strides that cleared deep snow, huge claws gripping ice. Every long step of Arctidus felt like a powerful leap, crossing meters of snow at once, closing the gap to its prey frighteningly fast. Its stride was a natural weapon. Ice Age horses were fast and small, but the short-faced bear had greater top speed, longer strides, immense thrust from thigh and back muscles, better pursuit ability in snow. It was one of the few predators on Earth that ancient horses could not outrun. Unlike modern bears, it couldn't climb trees. It wasn't good on cliffs. It didn't hide in forests. It wasn't suited for dense woodland. It was a creature of open grasslands, frozen steppe, wind-swept plains, hard, packed snow. The places where it could run, this allowed it to avoid sinking deeply, run steadily, accelerate on slick terrain, cross long snowy stretches without exhausting itself. When it surged forward, snow exploded in white bursts, like a small blizzard chasing after its prey. They could track the footprints of ancient humans, find carcasses killed by storms, cut off weak bison from the herd, avoid mammoths, intercept migrating reindeer. It was not just strong, it was intelligent. No one challenged it for food. No one wanted to face it. No one wanted to be seen by it. It wasn't the most elegant predator, nor the largest, but it was the one every creature feared most. It was a storm on legs, the lord of the frozen plains, the uncrowned ruler of the Ice Age. Sunset in the Ice Age. The sky glows silver, purple. The ground shines with the cold blue of packed snow. A herd of bison moves slowly, their breaths drifting into white mist. And then, through the thin veil of fog, you see a shape stepping forward. Not a wolf, not a smilodon, not a bear, but a giant cat, taller, longer, and stronger than any feline alive today. This is Panthera atrox, the American lion, a true king of the frozen world. The American lion was up to 25% bigger than the African lion. The numbers are truly staggering. Body length, 2.5–2.8 meters. Weight, 360–420 kilograms, among the heaviest of all big cats. Height, nearly 1.4 meters at the shoulder. Compared to the African lion, it was bigger, longer, more muscular, with a larger skull and a stronger bite. It was the largest cat to ever exist. Unlike modern lions, males had no mane. Their skin was thick and grey-brown. Their fur was short but denser. Their bodies built like warriors of the ice. No mane, nothing to hinder it when hunting in blizzards. It was a pure hunting machine. Unlike Smilodon, which preferred ambush, Panthera atrox hunted in small groups, chased prey at moderate but sustained speed, attacked the flanks or legs, fought extremely well at night, took advantage of the open tundra terrain. In many situations, it was the apex hunter of North America. Some of its targets included ancient bison, North American camels, Ice Age horses, giant deer, and sometimes even young rhinos or weakened mammoths. This shows that there was nothing in the Ice Age it wouldn't dare to hunt. These two predators were not the same. Smilodon, powerful at blocking, grappling, pinning, and delivering a killing bite. Panthera atrox, faster, more agile, better group coordination. In the wild, they rarely clashed directly, but fossil evidence shows conflicts, high competition for food, and both were dominant predators of the frozen world. You could say Smilodon was the assassin, while Panthera atrox was the warrior. Traits: long legs for running on packed snow, broad chest for power, extremely strong, hind legs for acceleration, large claws for traction, dark fur to blend into the blue-tinted Ice Age light. In the darkness of the long winter, it was nearly invisible. A large skull, powerful jaw muscles. A single bite from Panthera atrox could pierce a bison's neck, break a horse's ribs, hold down massive prey, create a fatal wound quickly. It wasn't just big, it was truly dangerous. Archaeological evidence shows they lived in groups, hunted cooperatively, shared food, and used tactics to push prey into deep snow. This made them the pinnacle of coordinated predation throughout the entire Ice Age. Many prehistoric tribes drew images of a large, maneless cat, described a spirit animal with a feline body as tall as a bison, spoke of the giant cat, the massive hunter in the blizzard. It's very likely they saw Panthera atrox with their own eyes. It wasn't just strong, it wasn't just big, it wasn't just fierce. It was the combination of all: muscle, speed, intelligence, tactics, size, climate adaptation, and a powerful hunting instinct. In the frozen world, it was the king of predators, a king who needed no throne, only strength and cold winds to affirm its existence. On a small hill, in the middle of an endless frozen prairie, the blue-purple sunset is fading. Snow drifts low across the ground like thousands of glittering specks. The wind howls long and sharp, like a cold, ghostly flute, and then a sound rises from the distance. Not the wind, not a storm, but a unified howl, deep and resonant, like a call from the darkness. It is the voice of the dire wolf, the pack-driven predator, the true terror of the Ice Age. Dire wolf, Canis dirus, 1.5, 1.8 meters long, 60-80 kilograms in weight, some individuals over 90 kilograms, thick jaws, extremely strong neck muscles, legs slightly shorter but solid, heavy, durable bone structure. Grey wolves would have seen them as the bodybuilder sibling. They weren't tall in height. They were massive in strength. The most terrifying features: large, thick teeth, powerful jaw muscles, jaws built to withstand extreme force, able to crush bone. Dire wolves often ate bones, crushed marrow, wasted nothing during winter. That was how they survived the harshest months. Their power didn't lie in one individual, but in the collective. Pack hunting allowed them to threaten enormous prey, surround from multiple directions, push animals into deep snow, take down even the strongest individuals, share the kill as a group. In the frozen world, filled with giant herbivores, cooperation was the ultimate weapon. Scientists reconstructed their behavior as similar to a coordinated army, dividing roles: chasers, drivers, leg attackers, tight cooperation, preferring to hunt bison, horses, giant deer, avoiding direct confrontation with mammoths and rhinos. They never charged into chaos. They moved step by step, wearing their prey down. Dire wolves knew where the snow was deep, where the ground was hard, where the ice was slippery, where prey would stumble, where the wind could hide their scent. They guided prey into natural snow traps, where the steps of horses or bison slowed, where young animals could slip, where they could strike from both sides. They used the icy landscape itself as a weapon. Dire wolves did not fear size. They often hunted ancient bison, Ice Age horses, giant deer, even North American camels. If a prey animal strayed from the herd or weakened, that was an immediate death sentence. When they brought down prey, the whole pack fed. The larger individuals ate first. The young and weak ate afterward. All defended the kill from short-faced bears and American lions. Ice Age competition was brutal. A few minutes of carelessness, and the carcass could be stolen entirely. Both hunted in the same regions, targeted similar prey, lived side by side for thousands of years, appear frequently together in the La Brea deposits. Dire wolf pack hunter, Smilodon ambush, hunter of large individuals. Two opposite strategies, both extremely effective. Their howl was deep, low, resonant, lingering, like wind screaming through a mountain pass. Many archaeologists believe Ice Age animals could feel fear just from hearing that howl. The strongest predator isn't always the biggest. The winner isn't always the fastest. Dire wolves succeeded because of cooperation, endurance, tactics, social intelligence, adaptability, organized attack. They were the army of the Ice Age, a symbol of collective strength in a ruthless world. The sky darkens over the frozen prairie, charcoal purple above, grass covered in a thin layer of frost, snow falling silently like dusted silver, the air so heavy and still you can hear your own heartbeat. Then suddenly in the darkness, a pair of golden eyes appears. Not a wolf, not a lion, not a bear, but a low, massive, muscular form, moving like a thick shadow of stone. It is Smilodon fatalis, or the larger Smilodon populator, the most terrifying predator of the Ice Age. Smilodon had 18-28 centimeters long canine teeth, sharp as spears, slender but extremely lethal, optimized to pierce deep into the neck of prey, incisors and molars to hold on tight. Its teeth were not made for crushing, but for killing. A precise strike prey dead in seconds. Unlike lions, front legs extremely thick, arms strong as a bear, stout body, low center of gravity, heavily muscled shoulders. Jaws could open up to 120 degrees, largest in any cat. Its body was not made for running. It was built to block, pin down, pull down, hold tight, control, deliver the killing bite. It did not chase. It finished. Maximum speed of Smilodon, 35-45 kilometers per hour, much slower than a lion. But that didn't matter. Smilodon would hide in the shadow of trees, wait for prey to lower its head while grazing, creep silently through snow, strike in an instant, lock the prey with its forelegs, bring it down in an explosive burst of power. It was a master of silence. Smilodon typically hunted ancient bison, North American camel, giant deer, Ice Age horses, juvenile mammoths, sometimes young rhinos. It didn't fear size. It only needed a single mistake from its prey. Its bite force, weaker than modern lions or tigers, but jaws opened wider, neck extremely strong, canines optimized for deep stabbing. Tactics: bring prey down, hold with forelegs, open jaws wide, bite the throat or major blood vessels, withdraw canines in a clean slice. No prolonging, no torment, just fast, precise, silent. It operated mainly at dusk, at night, during snowstorms, in low light, when prey was focused, digging through snow. In those moments, Smilodon appeared like a ghost, a strong, silent, deadly silhouette, not like lions' large prides, not like tigers' solitary stalkers. Smilodon could hunt in pairs, protect young together, share kills, aid injured individuals. Fossils show many lived long, despite broken bones. This only occurs in species with complex social behavior. Because of its long, slender canines, strike at the wrong angle, tooth breaks. Fall hard, tooth breaks. Prey strikes back, bones break. Yet it survived for hundreds of thousands of years. Proof that its ambush strategy was near perfect. Many caves contain carvings of large cats with long teeth, images of predators in snow, depictions of warriors shaped like Smilodon. Ancient humans saw them and never forgot. It did not run like the North American lion. It did not have the endurance of the dire wolf. It did not have the size of the short-faced bear. But it had something no one else had: the power to kill a giant with a single strike. Smilodon was the ghost of dusk, nature's blade, a solitary but perfect warrior, a symbol of the Ice Age, a killer born from silence, living in the cold wind, vanishing when the world no longer had a place for it.